Welcome to the book. The chapters in the book match the 4 sources of leadership power that the heroic journey will always provide. These are the 4 critical success factors. The first is the power of saying yes. This is our leadership commitment, and it's the call for our best. It's about leading with a sense of our own significance, with integrity, and with a willingness to think and act beyond our own immediate welfare. There are also 4 forms of courage on which to draw, and those are the courage to see and speak the truth, the courage to create and champion a vision of a desired state, the courage to act and persevere and hold the course, and the courage to collaborate with and rely on others. Second source of power is the power of knowledge. In other words, what to expect, what's normal and natural in leading one of these heroic journeys. The journey comes in 3 acts: beginnings, on the path, and completions, and we encounter 5 core challenges along the way. Act 1 is about the beginnings, and the challenge here, which continues throughout the journey, is helping people become the author of the experience. This means the author of an individual experience, or how do we self-manage, and it means being the author of the journey for the organization or the community. In other words, the leadership authorship. Act 2, on the path, is about 3 challenges. Letting go of old ways, could be ways of working, ways of relating, processes, old structures, identities. There's a stunning number of things we may need to let go of. Discovering and mastering the new ways. And this is probably the most deceptive of the challenges. Coping with the land in between endings and beginnings. Act 3 is about completions, and the challenge here is to finish strong. This is important because it's very easy to get distracted at the end of a journey, not want to finish, get pulled away to the next journey, or just be worn out. So finishing strong requires a good deal of leadership discipline. The third source of power is the power of clear roles and strategies for leading. In other words, what do we do? There are 6 leadership roles. Each of those roles has 3 core strategies that really define it. And also in the chapter, it lays out why these roles and strategies are important for each act, and also for each act, what good leadership looks like. Fourth source of power is the power of leadership webs. In other words, how do we lead together? This provides the leadership reach, the power, the credibility, and the resilience that's really going to be required over time. The importance here is that heroes don't go alone. They never did in the myths, and if we're leading change, we better not be going alone either. What's in the chapter is how do we build leadership webs? What do they look like? What are their components? How do we put them together? And how do we maintain them? There's also a focus on leaders and followers and the similarities between the two. There's also an important section on the contract between leaders and followers, which is usually implicit and much more powerful and healthier if we can make it explicit. You can navigate the book in a number of ways. I'm Just Curious will give you a good overview. It's how you can get oriented, and it puts the 4 critical success factors in perspective. You can also use I'm Just Curious to orient others and to create some common ground, whether it's one person, a team, a whole unit, an organization, or a community. Each chapter has a 1-page intro, which will give you a quick introduction to each critical success factor. And if you take them together, you can get a pretty good sense of what might be here for you and how they all fit together and how they all reinforce each other. There are also summaries and selected excerpts, so you can go into a little bit more detail. And you can really start with any chapter. They all fit together, and you can start with any of them. Each is important in its own way, but there's no particular order. For each chapter, there's also a QuickStart packet, and it's designed to help us figure out how do we implement what's in the chapter, do it quickly, do it effectively, so we don't waste time, we get a good start. It answers questions like, are we ready to lead? Are we ready to say yes? Are we worthy of our followers? How might the 5 core challenges in the journey look on our journey? Which roles and strategies are most important for us, and what might be the tactics for each strategy? And how do we build the web of leaders and followers, and what might the contract between leaders and followers look like? You can customize your own QuickStart by pulling from any of the 4. So that's the book, the layout of the book. Start where you like, poke around, let your interest take you where it might.